Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this public meeting for the city of Pryor to order in the matter of the dilapidation of the property of the Walker Family Trust, 102 North Meigs. And on the phone line, we have Mr. Walker, who has an interest in the Walker Family Trust here in Pryor. What could you tell us about the property?
Well, now that's R.D. Morgan's home. He built that house around 1905. He's the one that designed your original water system that I guess you tore down the water plant here about 10, 15 years ago. He designed your electric grid there and probably worked with the sewer as well as the gas. Pryor did not have any of those things prior to his arrival. And so he's the one that built that. That's his home. That's the history. One of the pieces of history of Pryor. My grandfather and Kenny Young's grandfather was born there, along with some other people in town. But anyway, his R.D. Richard DeSankey was his name. He came from Tennessee by way of he worked for the railroad. And so I guess he went into W.A. Graham and proposed to him to work for him to build the utilities for all Pryor, which ultimately made way for the powder plant being out there by having all that set up. And I guess according to my mother, he was on the committee to help persuade them to build that powder plant out there, which, has greatly benefited Pryor. Anyway, that's what I can tell you about the property. They sold it to Mr. and Mrs. Abel, about 20 years, somewhere around there, and then they repurchased it back about 45 years ago, I think. So.
Okay.
It has not been lived in since then.
So no one has lived in it in quite some time, and it has become dilapidated. And
yes,
there's actually has a tree on top of it.
Yes, the tree fell down. I'd hoped that the electric department would cut it down off of there, but they kept the other part to make sure Daryl's lines didn't do, but I guess not that. So yes, there's a tree that R.D. planted. He planted all those trees. Anyway, yes, there's a tree.
So do you have a plan on getting the lot mowed and the tree removed?
I usually mow it. It's just been too. Last I went, it was too wet, and I guess based on what I've talked to people around, it's still too wet to come mow the property. Is that what your concern is? Having the tree removed? Or?
Yes, the tree removed and the house is in dilapidated condition. Right. It invites undesirables into the community, and it actually brings down the property values around the area where the house that has not been lived in some time. It starts bringing down the property values in the rest of the area.
Yeah.
And I understand the history of it, and it is interesting, and it's good to know that there was good people coming to Pryor to help start that off. But what we need today, Mr. Walker, is somebody to come in and live in it and make it a home today.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to do that. I think we're going to remove it. I mean, it's sad. I don't think my family will eventually come back to Pryor, but it's sad. I mean, from the perspective of Pryor, you guys seem to be. I know you tore down O.L. Hardy's home place across the street there. I think it was Dorothy Hardy. I don't know if her last name's Hardy anymore, but she was maiden name Hardy. And he's the one with that O.L. Hardy building downtown. Built that, was a big lawyer down there and everything. It's just kind of sad, you guys. I know it just seems okay. I live in Texas, so they're very proud of their state, and they try to keep buildings, from the mere perspective of history and the type of people that are moving to Pryor. I mean, Google's got a big deal. I bet they're come from educated people are interested in history of things.
Yes, sir.
And you guys are taking it away. It's just,
Well, well,
it costs money. You can't believe some of the houses I see restored here. It's like,
yes, and I'd
whoa.
love to see it restored, but somebody has to put it up for sale and advertise it and list it with the real estate agent and
No, I don't mean like that. I just mean,
somebody within the trust has to make an overture to somebody to actually move the property along. It cannot continue to sit vacant and
right.
with a tree on it.
I didn't know that tree was that big deal.
Yeah, it's giant.
I saw it. No, I've been there several times, and I just didn't know you guys were that concerned about the tree. It ain't gonna move. It's alive still, so a human has to go there and cut it down. Nature's not gonna take it away. It's not gonna fall. I tried to cut on it to see if I could get it to roll.
Right.
It's still alive.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Your biggest concern, I didn't know that was your big concern. So your biggest concern is getting someone over there to cut that tree off the house.
No, it's not. That's not the biggest concern. The biggest concern is the maintenance, the dilapidation of the house. The general maintenance being that there's a tree on it right now. That's a general maintenance. That's a general maintenance question. The mowing is over 12 inches, and it needs to be staying at 12 inches.
If you can get it to stop raining long enough for me to get up there and mow, I will mow.
Well, I understand to a certain extent. To a certain extent, you probably should find somebody that's more local that can actually get to it in between the rainstorms.
Well, I've been trying. We're searching right now.
Maybe work with the Chamber of Commerce to find somebody that does good work.
Okay, well, I'll call him. I know him.
Right.
I've called 3 companies for a bid to demolish the building.
Okay, good. Good.
And I would assume they could look at cutting the tree, or at least laying it down on the ground. It's I didn't know prior people were so concerned about property values, but sure, we'll work with that.
Well, it's the general health general health and welfare for everyone in town, sir.
Well, not everybody in town. I don't think that's out of town people. But anyway, I've called 3 companies there in Pryor.
Yes, sir.
Trying to get a bid on demolition of that.
Yeah, and how's that working out for you?
Well, I just called them. I just finally got the numbers. Called them. They haven't called me back.
Okay.
So I don't know. Whether they said they'd go look at it and see.
All right.
What they charge. I still need to remove some items out of the house. My family uses it as a storage building. We did re-roof it here a few years ago, but it's just sad. You guys, it doesn't really hurt me. It's just, I just got a lot on my plate. I just broke my ankle last Monday there, so cracked it, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
So, that kind of got me out of commission, but I need to, there's a few items I want to remove out of the building before they haul all the stuff off. I'm just telling you that, you guys, I know the moods, you guys, I don't know, it burned and you tore that down, and old Whirlin, what's his name? What's that academy which was called?
Thunderbird?
Yeah, but what was the name of it when it was an orphanage?
Whitaker?
Whitaker. So, nobody's done anything to the Whitaker hospital. It's sad. You guys are before long, all it is just a bunch of old buildings, and, I see that, somebody's taking over the old Sharp building and trying to make it into a restaurant. I heard that it was a total nightmare with y'all. I'm just saying that.
Well, I would be glad to help somebody move in and fix this place up if it was able to.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you're not really looking. You're not looking forward. Look at A there. They tore it all down. Nothing there to even talk about.
Well, if it was for sale, somebody might buy it.
Well, somebody. I was So they
Well,
want to buy it for a cheap price. That's the hope.
well,
So, but yeah, I'll look at this demolition thing.
okay,
My mother still wants to keep her home, and she likes that buffer. So,
okay,
but yeah, that's what
well,
I'm doing. I'm looking for that.
very good, very good,
I would
David.
hope they can call me back. If not, then I call some more and see if I can get some calls from
Well,
somebody else.
sure, and I don't mind working with you on that.
I'm not even sure. She said your name, but I don't.
My name is Timothy Mills.
Timothy Mills.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You new to Pryor?
Well, my great grandparents are buried in Adair.
Okay. The name Mills is common there.
Yeah, but their last name was Crocker.
Was what?
Crocker?
Prophet?
Crocker.
Crocker. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just, I'm just trying to counsel you. Not that RD was, I mean, he was a pillar of the community. He saved Pryor after the tornado because he ran down there and shut the gas off, so stuff like that, but there's this, it'll be gone. It won't affect me, but, you guys who want to live there and if you want something special, you got to keep your history. I heard you guys almost tore down the pool, the old pool. So,
Well, yeah, there's things yeah, and there are things changing in Pryor, and we're trying to do some updating and some things to help the general welfare of the people that do live
I'm just
here.
saying, like
And
in
the
the
weeds,
60s,
when the weeds are getting,
yeah,
foot and a half tall, 2 foot tall, it's not good for anybody with the mosquitoes we
I
have
know,
right now.
I was there and I wanted to mow, but and I don't see there. We've had some break-ins at my mother's house because there's just not enough police effort or something. I don't know.
Well, when we
But
have vacant
there's not.
houses, it invites people to break into them.
Yeah, but there's nobody in the RD's house in that house. And we don't have anything taken from that thing. So
Well,
they're looking for quick money
yeah.
and the pawn
Well,
shops, I guess.
what I can do for you, David, is I'll pass this case to next month, and we'll
Okay.
revisit on the 17th of July. And
Okay, so let's.
they'll send you a letter, and we'll revisit this about 5 o'clock on the 17th of July.
Okay, should I? Do you want me to? Do you have an email that I would send like updates of what's happening? Where we're at with it. So.
Well, that would be with Trent Humphrey.
Okay.
That's Humphrey.
Okay. He's the guy that came and found it.
Code enforcement down here.
Okay.
Okay.
But you can also send it to Code Enforcement.
Code enforcement.
Code Enforcement at pryorcreek.org.
Okay, and I'm actively working on it. So code. Okay, let's see.
Code
Enforcement. Let's see
Enforcement.
if I can spell enforcement.
No,
I-N-F-O.
Ian.
Okay, ENFORCEMENT.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
At
I'll try
pryorcreek.org.
I'll try an email.
Okay.
And it's .org, right?
.org. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll keep you informed. Yeah, I agree. I don't see that tree as a danger, and we haven't had anybody camping there, amazingly enough, that I've seen, unlike our farmhouse out in the country. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah, thank you, Timothy.
Okay.
I appreciate your time.
You bet, David.
I hope we get some action from some of these demolition companies to contact us.
Okay. Yeah, they should. Time of year too, but hopefully by this. Well, we're not trying to just tear down houses. We're trying to get them sold or rehabbed. That would be way better than tearing them down.
Well,
That's our hope. We want families living there, not to tear them down. But if no one's living there, I
Well,
would
there's
rather
no-
tear it down.
There's no school over there anymore. They
Well,
have to take a bus, I guess.
If there's not a family living there and it's just a vacant
Oh, yeah.
house, it's,
I'm just
it's not,
saying that-
it's not helping the neighborhood.
Yeah, okay, the neighborhood, yeah, you know, my grandfather owned that entire property with everything from the highway to the county line was all, that was owned by him, and he sold it off sometime.
Well,
But, yeah.
he's got a lot
Probably
of,
better off having a real farmer's market set up.
it'd be beautiful. It would be beautiful. Yes, it would.
Instead of selling off the whole town to Walmart, but
Yeah.
that's life. Okay, Timothy, I'll let
All
you
right,
go. Thanks
all
for your
right.
time.
Thank you, David.
You take care.
All right,
All
goodbye.
right, bye.
We'll reset this to the 17th of July. In the matter of the dilapidation of the property of Donald Higgins in care of Connie Higgins, 414 North Hogan. Is there someone here who would like to speak on that?
Connie is here.
Okay, come on up, Connie. Have you signed in?
Yes.
Okay. What can you tell me about your property?
Like abstract wise, or
No,
just
what's
what?
going on with it? What's going on out there?
What's your plans?
What's your
my
plan?
plan
Yeah, what's your
is
plans for
to-
fixing this house?
Okay, to remodel.
Okay, we're remodeling this?
Hmm.
Okay. Do you have a remodel permit?
Not yet. I didn't know what we were gonna do tonight for sure, so I haven't done any of that. The hole in the roof has been fixed.
The hole in the roof has been fixed.
Mm-hmm. The,
Is anyone living in it?
not for a little over a year and a half now.
Okay,
Originally, we were gonna tear it down and rebuild,
right.
and we're not going to do that now.
But you're gonna basically gut it and
Well, we're gonna
Fix it.
take it to the frame
take it to the frame.
and then start from, we're not gonna change anything
Right.
as far as the structure of the
Footprint,
house goes.
right.
We're just gonna start, hasn't had anything done it since 1950 inside, so it's got the old wood paneling and all that.
Same wood frame windows
Yes.
and everything, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, it does need some updating.
yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
I've seen a few things, you know, the vinyl soffits that they put on it has been pulled away by the, Virginia creeper,
Yes, and that's no longer on there either.
yeah. Okay, good. I do see an open sewer line in the back.
You don't put an open sewer line in back.
Let me see, I'm not sure about sewer. Oh, yep,
Where-
I don't know
that is.
what this is, but it needs a cap on it. You see that?
Oh, yes. That's been there since I bought the house. I don't even know what that is.
That's a sewer line, or it's a clean out. It's a clean out for a sewer line, and it should be capped.
So
otherwise-
it just needs a cap?
Yeah,
Okay.
it just needs a cap.
I
on
get
it.
that.
And
That's not a problem.
And it's gonna be a mosquito nest. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's been open since
We don't need any more mosquitoes in Pryor, ma'am.
We've had the house 32 years and it's
Yeah.
always been open, so.
Well, so how long do you think that this remodel will take?
No, my husband and I are doing it.
You're
I'm
gonna do it
66, he's
yourself?
69, yes.
Okay.
And because we can't come to agreement on what's gonna go where,
Okay.
so.
So in the meantime, while you guys are gonna remodel this,
Mhm.
do you have a plan to keep the yard mowed?
Mhm.
Okay. And like every 2 weeks, somebody goes out there with the lawnmower and a weed eater and knocks
Yes.
everything down?
Yes,
Okay.
and it's been being mowed and knocked down, except for the
It's
rain.
mowed. It's mowed,
Yeah,
yes. The Virginia creeper I saw was growing up underneath all the siding and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
I didn't know what was going on with all that.
right. It just
Or
was
in the
a,
back door.
it was an ivy plant that got out of hand,
oh, yeah. And it has been taken care of.
and I have no
And-
green thumb, so I can't believe it.
Let me
Okay.
ask one question in reference to that picture you just saw. Right there, I know you've put some insulation panels up there.
Right.
Has there been creatures crawling underneath there? habitating underneath your house? Just saying.
No.
You might wanna figure out a way to
No,
get that in, okay.
or not to my knowledge, I haven't heard anything or seen anything going in and out.
Right. Well, I think before that was there, I think I could see like a crawl space where,
Yes,
You had-
they did a water line, they were doing something in that ditch, the city was.
Okay.
And it's been like 5 years ago, Randy James was the one that I talked to. And they hit a dead line, and it flooded everything. So, I mean, it came all the way up to the decking on the porch. They had to run up here and find the plats on it and all that while the water was spewing like a geyser. They ran the laundromat, they had to shut it down there, the one that got on fire. I don't know the name of it now, by Grand Valley. But anyway, we did have water under the house, so we put a sub pump under there to drain the rest of the water out that was underneath there real fast. And that's why that opening is there. We just never have reclosed it just in case.
Right, yeah. I just saw something that,
Yeah.
what looked like creatures had been going underneath there.
No, my husband,
So I would
Do
recommend you get
you have
do something
any,
to get rid of those.
there's several dog houses, it looks like.
there's one big one.
One
The heat,
big
I
one?
call it the he shed. It's a $15,000 doghouse is what it is, with heat and air.
With heat and air,
Yes,
okay.
I know.
Well, all right, well,
Hey, you just,
you just, are gonna need to probably pull your permit, get your plans made. You know, either get with, your architect or your engineer, or draw them out, however they need to have them.
okay,
As far as your remodel permit, what they require, and update.
require an engineer.
And, well, if there's anything that needs to be replaced, if there's any floorboards that need to be replaced, where you're having to go back in and rebuild the trusses underneath it, if there's rot, you know, from being in a wet environment for too long, you know when you get into a house and you start doing a remodel and there becomes a problem, and it becomes more than just a remodel, get with them, find out what they need, and it's codeenforcement.org. Email them. They'll work with you. Codeenforcement@PryorCreek.org. Update them, let them know. We'll continue this out, for as long as you need to do this. But I need to get a time frame so that I can move this out. I'll set it out for next month for you to come back with this plan on how you want to go about remodeling the house. Sit down with your husband, sit down and say, all right, you need to do something with this. It can't just sit here like this. We have to start working on it. The city wants something done. It's right now in an uninhabitable condition. It's been determined by Trent that it's uninhabitable, and we want to have the community be made better. If you're making it better, we want to help you and work with you, and that we don't want to be an obstacle. But having a remodel permit, that just lets us know that, hey, something is going on here that we'll have to take a look at, that Kenny can help you work with, to make sure that everything's right later on, for the next person that comes into town, so that our community stays safe. That's all we're trying to help with. We're not trying to be write tickets and pass fines or tear your house down. That's not what we're wanting to do. We want to have people living in our town.
It looked like you bought some new lumber that's on the front porch, like it's very historic.
Bunch of brand new 2x6s.
Yeah, but I made him quit because I didn't know again what was going to happen. Because if you weren't going to allow us to redo that, I was just going to have it taken down.
Sure. You can remodel anything if you have enough money. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Well, and that's another thing, when I went to go repair the roof on this to get shingles and stuff, that he wants to put the old shingles, the old style. My gosh. So I want to put the metal on. So this isn't like, this is something that we've already, but there's no leaks in the roof now or none of
Right.
that.
Perfect. That's
but
where you start on a remodel is.
I was afraid to go
top down.
too far with it till we got here, because I wasn't quite sure. I knew the porch was a problem the last time, and we took the roof off of it, and that's what he was gonna put back up.
Okay.
And I don't want it back up there.
Well, we've got a plan, and you're working on it. And you and your husband, I hope that you guys figure a plan out and revisit us on next month, the 17th of July. Is that good for you? Can you come back and meet us then? Is that good for you?
I'm gonna look on my calendar real quick, just to make sure, okay? 'Cause I don't wanna tell you it is when it is not. Okay, nope, that's good.
Okay.
At 5,
Yes.
same.
You'll get a letter. We'll
Okay.
send another letter out. And I thank you very much for your time coming in and visiting.
Where do I get the remodeling permit at?
Just come up to
Office
the,
where you were talking with Trent, they're at that same office.
Okay, in the morning then, whenever? Okay, all right, thank you.
all right, thank you very much. In the matter of the abatement of the property of Lynn Davis and Melinda Rhodes, 902 Southeast 2nd. Is there anyone here that can speak on their behalf? Come on up so I can hear you.
Ms. Davis says that I need to, do you want me with you, or?
Yes, you can be.
So I have not done this before, so. My name is Josh Bridger, I'm an attorney out of Tulsa with legal aid.
Okay, very good. So what is going on with the property at this time?
It's like a brand new house inside. And it caught fire back in November.
Yeah, I'm familiar with, we've been working this case for quite a
Got all
bit of
brand new
time.
utilities in it,
Right,
studs, floors.
yes.
Mr. Colby back here has been putting in the sheetrock and the insulation.
Sure, until we put the stop work order, there was a stop work order that was placed on the door.
For,
What was that for the mayor?
The-
Oh, they switched contractors or something.
Yes,
On
and
the house.
the mechanical hadn't been looked at and replaced.
Oh, the
So we
mechanic.
didn't want him sheetrocking until that had been looked at.
oh,
The original contractor was gonna replace some of the
mechanical,
runs,
right.
and that hadn't been
Mechanical
done.
means HVAC.
Yeah, but the electrician that did
The
it.
HVAC and the mechanical got covered up with sheetrock?
Well, we don't know if it has, that's what the stop order was for.
Oh, okay.
And no plumbing was done.
No plumbing inspection?
No, they didn't need it.
They didn't need it.
Is that correct?
Supposedly they didn't need plumbing, but the only thing that's been inspected has been electrical.
Okay.
Chase, are you still with us?
Chase?
I am here.
Okay, we just needed to let you know, this is Cheryl, both the owners of this house has passed away, and I don't believe it's in probate, is that correct?
That is one of the things we're currently working on at legal aid, about whether or not we can help with that or not.
Okay, so her legal aid is here from Tulsa, and they are gonna be starting working on probate, but that has not happened yet, right?
We're still making sure we have the resources to help, because it's probate takes a while, and
Yes.
I'm out of the Tulsa office, and it's an hour to get here, and I've got.
So I just wanted to make you aware of that, Chase, that this is one of those houses.
Was there a will?
No. That's not my, we didn't expect this to happen. I lost my daughter the 17th of May. Cancer.
Yeah.
I lost my service dog last week. And Mindy was working with
I can
can't do it. He was working with this contractor here,
Right.
and,
Authentic construction.
yeah.
Say again?
Authentic construction and
Right, right.
roofing, yeah.
He came to the last hearing.
Yeah, I remember speaking
Okay.
with him.
And the electricians was in there doing everything. I was over there. Kobe was over there. The electrician said everything was done. Everything was done. Electrical. So, okay, Kobe started doing the sheetrock and stuff. And then all of a sudden, somebody pops up and says, oh, well, this ain't done and that ain't done. I guess the electricians didn't do everything they were supposed to do, but told us everything was done. So we thought everything was done and ready for the sheetrock and the
You know,
insulation.
you can't really inspect what's behind the insulation and the sheetrock, if that's where it needs to be inspected.
Yeah, 'cause they
If it
had-
gets covered up, you can't see it. What do you normally do in cases like that, Kenny?
Hopefully the contractor's taking photos and stuff that we could review, you know, do an inspection by photos, but
Yeah.
We've got pictures of the work that have been done. It's got all new floors, all new studs, all everything. When, these guys said,
The question is, can they continue working on this if it hasn't been through probate yet? That, you might make sure Chase hears that.
the electrician stuff had been checked and approved already.
Yeah, but we're not talking about the electrician.
Well, yeah, so, let me, now, Melinda was your daughter,
Yes. Lynn was my husband.
and Lynn was your husband, and your name is nowhere on the deed.
My husband passed in 2019.
Right, but so you're gonna have to get probate this house and any other properties that
We have another.
Melinda had an
property.
interest in,
We have another property,
or that Lynn had an interest
and they're gonna be up for sale when they're ready.
in, okay.
No. And you're right, I think it was in Melinda's name, it was in her dad's name, what was your dad?
Lynn,
Her stepdad,
Stepdad's name,
right.
but you were the one on the mortgage, correct? And you
I
were
have-
receiving.
I have the mortgage
check
on, I've got
for
the contract right here. Mindy was
Insurance.
supposed to got a loan for it, and she didn't do it.
That's not really an argument at this point, just,
Okay.
yes, she's the one on the mortgage.
Okay, so you're the one on the mortgage, and what about, who do we need to get to move forward? I guess probate, we still have to get that sorted. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't.
You definitely want to do a probate here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then contractor-wise, that's why the stop work order was, all of a sudden it was a different contractor.
That's where the mix-up come in, because the electricians, when they got done, said everything was done. Okay, no work had been done on it for 2 or 3 weeks after that. Nobody there, nobody doing nothing. So that's when Kobe came in and said that, well, he could put the sheet, since the electrician said everything was done, he was putting up the sheetrock and insulation. And that's, while he was working there, you went, because you seen somebody in there.
So this case right now is on the abatement of the property. This is on all of the trash and the things that are around the property.
Yes.
The
Backyard.
house itself is later on the agenda.
Okay.
My apologies.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's on
I didn't
both
think
ends, yeah. This is 414 North Hogan, yeah. And so this is for the
The
trash junk,
abatement,
the
yes.
abatement, the trash junk and debris,
All that's been took care of.
okay.
It's been mowed, everything's been
Well,
mowed.
I'm looking at some of the grass right now, it looks like it could be over 12 inches tall right here in these pictures that were taken today.
At 902 Southeast Second Street, there should be no trash there.
Everything that's underneath that awning, all the stuff under the awning.
I thought it was off.
Looks like the,
I had it off, how'd it come back on? Okay, I hit power off again.
and then the case right now is the outside storage of household goods.
About
You-
what?
Outside storage of household goods. You know, I know that there was a shipping container where you moved everything inside the house into a shipping container. What would not fit into the shipping container got moved underneath the carport, and then you put up some tarps in front.
That's so nobody would be stealing stuff, and people have been stealing stuff out of it anyway.
Yes. Yeah,
It's just,
because it's
I
open.
don't have anybody to help me with anything.
I understand that. but
Except for
you
Cole.
can't, but you can't set stuff outside and expect it not to be gone through. That's why you can't do that in town. You have ordinances against storing stuff outside, because people will come through and rummage through it
That's why
and
she,
start stealing it.
that's why she had the tarp up there. She'd been living there until the fire.
Yeah, but we can't, it's been sitting outside underneath this carport for how long?
I don't know. Mindy has had been in that house since 2019 is when she bought it from me.
That's not the question. The question is, how long has that stuff been sitting outside after the fire?
How what?
After the fire, how long has that stuff been sitting out?
Been there forever.
With the amount of stuff that's under that carport and public view it becomes a nuisance to the
We're trying to get rid of it. We're
If I
trying
can
to
get
do.
the okay to do work around the outside of the house, I can get that stuff hauled off and cleaned up. That ain't a problem. I was just
Do you
told
have a
not to do no work around there, so.
I don't
I
have
just
a
went by
problem
there like
with them
3 weeks
hauling
ago, I
stuff.
believe, and mowed the yard and everything.
Yes.
Can,
there's still that probate question.
the cleaning up the outside of a property to make it not in violation of ordinances, I don't have a problem with.
But the,
The stop work order is for the electrical violation that was covered up with sheet rock. And, you know, we need to get with the, sounds like it needs to get with the electrical contractor and get with Kenny and work with Kenny as far as sending him any photos that you have.
Who's Kenny?
Kenny is the inspector, for the electrical department, the electrical inspection for the city, so that, you know, he can look at it and see what he's got. It's hard to inspect things that's been covered up with sheetrock and insulation. I don't know how you do that. He says he's hoping that he has some photos. Yes,
The
Kenny?
thing it is, the electrical stuff has been inspected, but nothing else, the
The
air
mechanic.
conditioning, the ductwork that needs to be ran, the plumbing is that, they haven't done pressure tests on the lines and stuff on there. They've also got gas that's in that house. We were told they were gonna have the gas furnace and stuff and reuse stuff, so they need to pressure test things. So they normally do that before they start covering anything up. The electrician's probably correct. His part was done,
Okay.
but he can't speak for everybody else. Nobody else, there's been no mechanical, there's been no plumbers.
Now, when electrical finishes a job, normally they call the city and call you out to do the inspection.
And we did a rough-in inspection, and also we hooked up the service, did a
Right.
service inspection. Those have been done. The final has not been done on electrical, but
The rough-in and the service.
Service has been done. Nothing's been done on plumbing,
Plumbing
nothing's been
and
done on
mechanical.
mechanical.
Plumbing and
There
mechanical.
was ductwork,
That's-
we were told it was gonna be running new ductwork.
You have central heat and air?
Yeah, I had central heat and air.
Okay. Well,
No, if she does not.
okay.
Is it not ran by an air conditioner in the window air conditioner?
Well, it could have central heat.
It's had central heet and air.
Heat up, okay.
Okay.
It's had central heat and air since 2007 when I bought it.
When,
Furnace is in the closet, the southeast closet,
Okay.
and then the condenser sits right outside on the south side of the house.
our inspector would love to work with you. But find out, do you have a heat and air guy that's doing your work with you? Do you have a heat and air guy that did some work for you whenever you was doing the remodel?
The gentleman that came last week,
Yeah?
or last time, was doing that. That's what he was working on doing.
Was it the HVAC?
But my question is, can this even continue?
But the probate's really more an issue of when someone's gonna sell the house. If it comes to that, you know, someone else would have been paying for this, that's an issue that can be settled during the probate process, as far as I'm aware.
Well, she's the mortgage holder on the
Yes,
house.
and I think very likely the heir at law too, based on what information I've got, it's just, the probate process has to be done, but before that can be known for sure.
Because she is the mortgage holder,
Cooper.
Yes, and she does have an
That's the
interest in the
mortgage
property no
holder.
matter what.
she has an interest in the property, so she's well within her rights to try to repair the property, to bring it up to code so it doesn't stay in violation.
Right, but we're on the abatement of it right now.
The abatement, as far as getting the stuff out from underneath the carport,
Okay,
I am golden with you cleaning that up.
okay.
I
I don't
am
wanna
golden
get no
with you cleaning that up.
trouble
And
moving
it
stuff
just,
out of
it just,
there.
I don't have a problem with it. Trent, do you have a problem with
No,
that?
we
Okay.
take care of the outside.
Yeah, you,
I was just over there
You
like 3
clean
weeks
that up.
ago and mowed it and all
It-
that, and the
yeah.
backyard and everything.
that would
so.
be so much better than what we've got there right now.
Okay.
Because it's becoming a mouse nest, a rat nest,
Okay.
and it's bringing the value of the properties around it down.
And then what do we need to do to get to the inside of the house to get the sheetrock and insulation put in?
It's a plumbing inspection and mechanical inspection, and that you're gonna have to work out with your previous contractor. Your previous contractor, he did the mechanical.
He was going to,
Well, he was going to, or he did?
no,
No, I
he did
can,
not.
I can get back with him. See, I've never ever talked to the guy. My daughter was working with
Your
him.
daughter was doing it?
Yes.
This is largely failure to communicate after the death.
Yeah, there was some, that's why he came up here. He was explaining some trouble communicating. He didn't know what to do either. And all I can say is that we wanna take things slow, but we wanna be fair to you.
You see, I
And
thought he had quit, is what I thought.
Well,
So that's why I told
I
him. he
think
couldn't
that's
do it.
kinda, he was trying to protect himself because he didn't think he was gonna get paid.
And I told him I have, this insurance gave me $41,000, when he talked to me last, I said, I paid you 7,000 something, 5,000 and something, there was 13,000 left.
Right?
So he knew there was 13,000 left in the bank
Right?
to go on with, but That he-
I can't testify for sure
Yeah.
what his reasoning was, but he did not think he was going to be paid. That's what he told us.
Yeah, 'cause
He
I've
said,
talked to
well,
him
as a
since."
contractor, you have to protect yourself.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah,
We go ahead and move on out of the abatement, and then you can move down to number 9 and continue with the house.
okay. Well, you're gonna work on getting that taken
Okay.
care of on that,
I'll get the stuff cleaned up outside.
and we're good with that. And as far as,
Do you want to review it as
And-
the abatement next month?
yes, let's review the abatement, that way we won't have to send the abatement out to bid. We'll review this case on 7/17 at 902 Southeast Second.
And then if you want to go ahead and move to 9 while they're up here.
Yes, so they can be done with them. Let's move to number 9, Lenny Davis and Melinda E. Rhodes, 902 Southeast Second, and I'm sorry, ma'am. What was your first name again?
mine, Vanilla.
Vanaya. Okay, I'm gonna write that in here. Vanaya,
L.
Nyla.
Pardon?
Vanilla?
Yeah, Vanilla. V is in Victor.
Like vanilla.
E,
I've
capital
been
N.
saying vanilla because
Yeah, it's not even spelled vanilla.
Okay,
Capital
But it's a
V,
long I, vanilla.
lowercase e, capital N, lowercase ILA, no spaces.
okay. Vanilla.
Vanilla.
Yeah, now that you spelled it, that makes sense. Okay. Now, the contractor that purchased the permit was at the last hearing stated he is stepping away from the job. The contractor has left that job. He's not coming back.
No, I didn't know, because I talked to him a few weeks ago to ask him questions, because I didn't know.
Right.
I said, I've never talked to him before, because he was dealing with my daughter and him, so,
Yeah, well, he may, you probably need his help to get the stop order lifted, because he pulled the permit. This is his permit that everybody's working off of. And, you know, if you get another contractor and we've got everything sheetrocked up, they're not going to be able to say that the heat and air was done right.
well, that's why he had to stop sheetrocking until,
And the plumbing is right. And safe
Plumbing's
for
okay.
somebody to go in, you got gas lines running in there, you want those to be done right and inspected to make sure and sniffed with the machines and everything to make sure that they're tight. and that they're not leaking gas behind the walls, you know, that everything's done correctly, you know, so that it's safe for you or whoever comes along after you sell it or whatever you do, whoever lives there, and looking out for the community. So Kenny, be looking forward to Vanilla getting a hold of you, and you know, with your new contractor or your old contractor, find out what you can do with him, or get a new contractor with the $13,000 that you have left.
I don't even know how to go about doing stuff. I'll try to call him and see what to do.
If you could give us some time, we are still talking in-house about the probate, but, I am at the moment leaning towards making the sacrifice to just figure it out, if at all possible. I have to get permission from my own bosses for that first,
Right.
but if you could give us some time to work with her on our end, to see if there's anything we can do to help her along just in general, because I think she needs someone helping her with this.
Okay, all right. How much time do you think that you'll need as far as the probate?
As far as the person on my office who handles that, I'm gonna be talking with her probably next week
Right.
about this particular case.
Okay.
I would not mind coming back on 17th just to update about what we're doing on that front. Just it kind of depends on what Linda wants to do.
You can email code enforcement at Pryor Creek.
I'm gonna need a business card or something, because we have to get it scanned in for us.
I have
Right.
medical problems and I have memory problems myself.
That's
why.
another reason why I'm leaning towards.
But you can call, update Cheryl during the week, anytime. And she will disseminate information to me or Trent, and then we'll work with you. If you don't have to be here, you don't have to be here. We'll work with you to not make that drive. An hour one way is
Yeah,
a lot.
the firm pays for mileage, but I don't mind too much, but yeah.
I'm trying to help you and assist in helping other people. So we're gonna reset it to look at again next month and see where we're at on it, okay, Vanilla? And we're trying to help, and we'll try to help you in any way we can. But we do need to get something moving on it, because this house has been sitting vacant and burnt out for a while. I know it looks a lot better from the outside, but we still need to we've got to cross that goal line. We're almost there. All we got to do is get these inspections done, and then you can do something with it, okay? All right, thank you, Vanilla.
They still have number 6. Number 6 is also, was Melinda's house.
Oh,
This
number
one I
6.
have not researched at all.
Okay,
What?
You didn't tell me about this one.
yeah,
Oh, you know what he's
All right.
talking about. Oh, you know what he's talking about now.
number 6
The other house.
is 114 North Whitaker.
Number six. Yeah, 114 North Whitaker, you know the red house
yeah.
that she had,
Well, it's Mindy's name.
Oh, my goodness.
Mindy's
Yeah.
name.
There's a lot going on at this house. Do you know if this is rented out currently?
Yes, it is, and
Are you
I'm having
collecting
trouble
rent?
with them. I left a note on their door earlier.
Oh,
They
okay.
don't pay their rent on time, they don't pay it all.
Well,
And
wow.
I left a note on their door today, they needed to come over and see me about it. Because that's in Mindy's name. My,
Well, did you walk around the property at all?
no, because I got biting dogs.
Yeah, they got biting dogs.
Yeah, they got bite dogs.
Got a lot of
My daughter
trash.
almost she did get bit by one of them.
Yeah.
And I knocked on the door and he started
There's all kinds of trash and debris all over the yard.
again.
Yeah. I guess they had
they never finished.
they had a dumpster set out there for them.
Yeah, and they said they had it all cleared up.
Yeah.
No, there's all kinds of trash. This is the tops of ragweed, you see that? Those are about 4 foot tall right now along the fence. But they're not mowing it, they didn't finish cleaning it
Well,
up.
they're the ones that need the tickets then. Because Mindy's
They've
deceased.
received citations. in the
So
past,
are you
But
right-
now it's on the property owner, which.
And I'm not a property owner. My
Yeah.
daughter was the
Right,
only one on
unfortunately,
it. That house has been
Mindy
paid
is
for.
passed
There's no,
Yeah.
nothing.
Since the property owner has passed, we are writing tickets to the occupants?
We have in the past. I
I-
haven't wrote them recently because I didn't know what we were going to do.
Well,
this point.
in that situation, in this particular
what-
situation, I'm gonna recommend that we start writing tickets to them.
What,
And just keep writing tickets until we get the property cleaned up.
what in the process of doing is putting the house back in my name. I paid for that house.
That's probably gonna be encompassed in a probate as well. It's
So-
almost certainly gonna be encompassed in a probate as well.
Yes, and it's in Melinda's name, so as long as the house is in violation,
The tenant.
Can we
tenant,
evict?
let's make the tenant responsible for
So, you know, I can't.
cleaning the property.
I work on the eviction prevention team, so I can't actually, evict someone.
So they're well aware.
They had the sewer problem fixed.
Good.
There was a sewer issue at one
No,
time,
because
that was a strong
It's a-
smell,
it's
they
a
got that
issue.
fixed. The tenants took care of that somehow,
Okay. Well,
we'll talk about that.
but the rest of the trash, they
yeah,
did.
the rest of the trash needs to go.
Yes.
And we're gonna work with the tenants as well. Trent's gonna work with them, trying to get that cleaned up. But please go by there and let them know. If they're paying you the rent money,
I haven't received anything yet. They're $199 owed for this month still on the 800.
when you talk to them next, let them know that, they're gonna start getting tickets if they don't get it cleaned up.
Okay.
Okay?
I left a note on her door a while
Okay.
ago and then run back to the car because that dog started. I didn't know if he was gonna come through it or not.
Right, we'll see you again next month on the 17th.
17th.
Yes,
Uh-oh.
And I'll send a letter to you.
yes.
17th.
Yep.
17th. I'm checking because of doctor's
Cheryl, do you
appointments.
just send a letter to his office also?
I could if you want to be kept up.
Yes, we will.
Is your information written in?
17th.
A mailing address?
I can write the address in
Yeah,
for the
if you don't
firm.
mind.
17th of July.
Yes.
I also have the firm's address on my OVA page, and I put my
July
number on there
17th.
too,
Okay.
so. In case I
Okay.
make a mistake here.
No doctor's appointment then.
Okay.
We have doctor's appointments constantly, so that's why I have to check the date.
I think the zip code's 74103, but I can never remember what the firm.
What time?
But that should be
5 o'clock.
I once you got the rest of it.
17th,
Mm-hmm.
17th,
Oh, Suite 727.
Task Court, 17th.
Mm-hmm.
Time, 5. Save. Do I have that saved? Okay, I got it.
And best of luck to you, Vanilla, and I'm sorry for your loss.
Okay, thank you.
I'll join you up in a second, I gotta grab my hat.
In the matter of the dilapidation of the property of Casey Diane Livingston, 62 Pine.
Hear all that, sir?
Okay.
I was here on April 17th,
Yes.
and I underestimated a little bit how long it'd take to get the property sold out of probate. There's a bunch of statutory waiting periods that we
Yes,
have to
there
abide
is.
by. But I have for you the order and notice of the hearing to confirm the sale of the property.
We do have copies of those in the folder.
Okay.
The hearing to confirm the sale will occur on July 9th. At that time, if we're presented with a check by the purported buyer, we will we'll deliver the deed.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it'll be,
Very good. I'm going to pass this to the 17th of July. If everything goes well at your closing, no need to be here. I'll close this case and we'll move on.
all right, perfect. Thank you. May I be
Thank you.
excused?
Thank you very much. Yes, you're excused. Thank you so much. And you've already got a copy of this?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna put this in my personal one. And we'll move 62 Pine to 717. Oh.
What do you think?
bro. I wish. Which one are you? Which one are you? Which one are you? You the last one?
Oh,
Are you Isabella?
yeah, I happen to be tonight, yeah.
Oh, bless your heart.
She can't be here, she's unwell. And she
I'm-
called me to represent her.
Okay, very good. In the matter of the dilapidation of the property of Isabella Townsend, 510 North 433 Road.
I will not belabor
Is
it.
there someone here that would like to come forward and speak for
Yeah.
Isabella?
We're both here.
Okay.
This is the gentleman that's doing the work. My name's John Crockett. And here's photographs of the work he's doing. From what I've understood, that, I didn't realize I was jumping in front of you. You sure?
Sorry, Jack.
This,
This is fire loss. I think her permit expires the end of this month.
yeah,
We just need some additional, those are your copies.
yeah. I want to point something out.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know, I still gotta take that out. I'm trying to finish the roof first, and I'm gonna take all that burnt stuff out.
I'm just looking at that. We're not using that again.
No, 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 no,
Kid.
no,
I was just, okay.
no, no,
So,
I ain't that stupid.
well,
Thank you.
we've been working with Isabella for quite some time on this and trying to get this arranged in some kind of way that it looks like it's a home there instead of a burnt out structure.
Okay.
And we're working really diligently trying to make sure that it gets built in a way that it's habitable for someone in the future as well as for her today.
Yeah,
So you have, your building permit is expiring when?
It's June the 30th, I believe, so we need to get an extension on that.
And we've extended it now twice.
That's not,
Original one and then this one is
So there's been a building permit going for a year.
good. We just need it probably for about another 90 days, he tells me.
Okay.
And the permit was only a building permit, there were no trade permits, so.
No electrical, no plumbing.
yeah, I know,
No plumbing.
I
You still
think-
need those permits.
yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna, if you come in before the end of July, or June 30th, purchase another permit, I'll allow you to purchase another building, a remodel permit.
Okay,
It'll be good for 6 months. However long it takes you, it takes you.
okay,
But there won't be a third one,
no,
okay?
yeah,
I would like to revisit the case to see what the progress is. I don't necessarily need to
well, he
revisit it
can
in
tell
July.
you the difference right now from the pictures, what it was and what it is now.
Well, yeah, I could see. He sent me all the pictures he took today.
Okay.
I checked them out when he was taking them, I was seeing them.
Okay,
As I was sitting at home. I've been watching Isabella's house and cause it's been
yeah,
It's been one of those cases that we have been working with Isabella, and we have been trying to work with her and trying to work with her caretaker to get the house fixed and keep the house in compliance.
well, I'm doing both jobs.
Okay, all right, good.
Kenny's got a question.
Kenny?
Who's gonna be doing the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing?
Licensed people, probably Milton on the plumbing and probably, what's his name?
I was just gonna say, whenever you get the new, for the remodel, put it down, as to
Who's gonna do it?
on that. So
Yeah.
that way we'll know that they are current with the city and everything.
Yeah.
That's all I was getting
Yeah.
at on that.
I'll make sure of that.
Great, thank you.
And besides that, I've worked with you on a trailer for a hot water tank.
Yeah, after.
And Pat,
putting
and
in, we haven't hit a plumber to give us.
I don't need you back in July. Let's revisit this in August
Okay,
and see where we're at in 2 months.
all right, so I'll come over tomorrow morning to get renew the permit?
Yep.
You might wait, I'm gonna be coming in late because of this meeting might wait a little bit, noonish,
Noonish?
yeah.
Okay, I'll be off the roof by then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
August what date, please?
August the 21st.
Yes.
I doubt if I'm
No,
here,
because she
but-
gave me a blank check right now to get the permit renewed if I could.
Well, but I want to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
So please get it renewed and get it updated.
Okay.
If it's done the right way, that's the way we'll want to do it. We just want to get it fixed the right way.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Uh-huh.
Apologies.
Thank you all.
Well, thank you. In the matter of the dilapidation of the property of James Cord and Sherry L. Regan. All right. Yeah, well, here we are again.
Yes,
And you fell off the ladder.
I did.
I read the notes in the case.
It wasn't a long fall as how I landed, I guess.
Yeah, and that's sometimes all it takes is a bad fall.
Yes.
There's never a good fall.
No, there's not.
Um,
Actually, things were moving along pretty well. Like I said, starting it was the winter months, you know, and the weather and stuff like that.
right.
And I actually found a helper, and he worked with me for a couple of days. And of course, this happened, and I thought, well, I could use his backbone. He never showed back up, so I lost him after I paid him.
Well, and you know, I do have compassion. I'm not a hard man to work with, but it's got to get done.
Oh, it's going to get done. That's why when I asked for this,
Well,
I know my permit will still be good until that date also in November.
what?
That gives me time because they've got, I'm still waiting on my MRI and specialist to go to.
Right.
And they have things called, have you ever heard of nerve ablations? It's a
Yeah.
outpatient procedure,
Right.
but,
I know what an ablation is.
so that's probably what I'll end up having done. So it gives time
Well,
to heal.
here's my problem.
Oh, shit.
House didn't get that way in a week.
No, you're right.
2 weeks.
You're right.
That house has been falling apart like that for years. The soffits have been falling off that house for years. That hole has been in that roof and now has been patched like that for years.
Not years, no, sir. I just did that patching myself. It hasn't been patched.
It's right
years.
across the street from our premier park in Pryor.
And it's still,
And it's original Army housing that you know was built to help supply our men fighting on the front lines, and you know it is historical. It is a nice little brick house that someone could be living in, but instead it's in a state right
so
now
why not give me the
that
chance
nobody
to fix it?
nobody cares for it. Nobody's taking care of it.
Why not give me the chance to fix it then? Because that's all I'm
Well,
asking for.
I asked you whenever you first came here, how
Yeah.
long do you need?
And how do I
You said
predict something like that?
6 months, and I said, well,
Well, and
and then you
I
said,
didn't know
well,
what to
7
ask.
months.
Yeah, but
7 months.
see, when you ask somebody how long is it going to take to do such and such, when I have no idea. How do you answer something when I can't say, well, if this doesn't happen or that doesn't happen, and after I look at it, you wanted to know right very first day.
Right, well, how
I
long
had
do
to
you
give you a
need?
number, and I didn't know
How
what
long
to give
do
you.
need? And now you're coming back and say, well, maybe November, I can get it done.
I'm not a maybe November, I'm asking till November. I didn't say maybe, I'm asking.
Well, yeah, but it's.
Better weather conditions.
It's June.
Yes, it is, and better
July,
weather conditions.
August, September, October, November, another 5 more months.
Mhm.
We're back to a year now.
Only a year.
Of this house sitting for another year
Uh-huh.
on our books, on our caseload.
Have you not given other people a year?
No,
You haven't. The
No.
one just now, you
No.
give them a year.
no, we haven't been working with them a year, no, sir.
You haven't been working
no,
with me a full year.
11 months. They are on 11 months right now.
Okay, I'm on
And
7.
we are at the point right now, I was ready to tear their house down.
Okay, well, we're on 7. We
And I-
haven't been at a year. This is 7 months from my first hearing.
Okay. I'm not gonna compare anybody else to you.
Well, I'm
You
just
told
asking.
me, you told me what?
I told you
What was
7
the- what
months
was the
because
answer?
I have no
What-
answer.
what-
What did you want me to say if I say,
6
I don't know?
months? 7 months?
I said I had
8
no
months,
idea, really.
A year?
I didn't know to ask for
I
a
asked you
year.
to give me a number and you said,
I've never been anything like this in my life. I didn't know
then you
what you were
should not
wanting
be
from
doing
me.
it. You probably should not be doing it if you don't
Doing
know how
what?
to do it.
I do know how to do it.
Then you should know how long it would take.
I didn't know how to do it when I first came to my hearing. I had done research on building codes for a roof.
Well, I'm.
What's the harm?
How long
What's
has
the,
this house been empty?
When's the last time someone lived in it?
I think my sister was in it
Uh,
2014, something like that.
Okay, has that not been long enough since 2014 to remodel it?
It doesn't need remodeled. The hole got in the roof over a period of 2 years. And I had things going on at home. I told you, my wife was through open heart surgery. And yes, I was lax in it, but there's only one of me. I don't have parents, I don't have sisters anymore. I have no family, just my wife and myself. So I gotta take care of her and everybody else.
And I don't see you being able to pack shingles all the way up to a peak.
I'm gonna hire somebody. That's where the contractor comes in to inspect it, make sure it's done before he even does the shingles. That's how I'm able to afford, because doing the rest of it
And
myself.
my kindness is looked upon as a weakness.
Do what?
My kindness will be looked upon as a weakness.
By whom?
By everybody else. My kindness to them was looked upon as a weakness for you to use against me.
No, I
You
wasn't
tried to
trying to
bludgeon
use
me over the
anything
head,
against
saying you
you.
gave them a year.
I'm
How come
asking
I
why
can't
you
have
can't-
a year?
Okay, first I said, why
Because
would you
of
give me a
people
year?
like you coming back at me for doing that.
I'm not trying to
It's-
come back to you. My first question was, why won't you give me a year? And you said, I don't give anybody a year,
I
is what
don't.
you said.
I don't. You don't
wasn't
know the
trying to
particulars of
compare.
that case.
I wasn't
You don't
trying to
know
com-
all the
I
particulars
don't,
of
I
that
was not
case.
trying to compare. I was answering your question when you said you don't give anybody a
don't.
year. That's all I said.
And I don't. I don't give anyone a year.
Well, then how would?
I ask people how long they need.
Why would it do me any good then to ask you for a year if you don't give anybody a year in the first place?
Well,
I mean, so we're sitting here arguing, all I'm asking for is give me till November and you can tear it down and burn it for all I care if it's not done.
well,
That's all I'm
that's what I
asking.
said would happen in June if you didn't get it done in June. And we talked every month up until then. Every month you've been coming in here, oh yeah, we're getting it done, we're getting it done, we're getting it done. I've got everything
I
bought.
was working on it. I can't get up there in the rain. And you know all the
We've
storms
had
we've
several
had.
weeks, we've had several weeks where we've had
Not
good weather.
4 weeks.
Yes, we've had.
Okay,
Since February?
yeah. I've got them all logged on my calendar.
Okay. Several good weeks of good weather since February. That at any time in that time, you could have had it done. Weeks. And you didn't.
Since February,
Yes, since February.
in the winter, okay.
And it wasn't. None of the soffit's been replaced.
The soffit
soffits
is
can-
underneath. They never had a soffit, except in the back.
The tails that are coming off the rafters, they're all rotten.
Not all of them, no, sir. They're not.
I don't know what I'm seeing in the pictures
We
I'm
went
not
over this
gonna argue
before.
with you, though.
I'm not-
I won't
doesn't mean
argue
to argue
with
with
you
you
about
either. I'm not here
then.
to
Your
argue.
roof
I'm
is
just asking.
collapsing, there's a skylight in your ceiling. I asked you how long it would take you to fix it. You said 6 months, then you said 7 months? I said, all right, 7 months, but if it's not done in 7 months, I have a job to do. You have to accept that I have a job to do as well.
And that was my very first meeting. I wasn't like, come back next month and it's after you look at it and everything, we can assess maybe how long it's gonna take.
And every
You
month,
wanted an answer that very first meeting.
and
And
every
I
month
had no
you came
idea
back-
what to say.
And every month that you've came back in here, you've told me,
I
yeah,
have been
I'm
working on
gonna
it
have it
when I
done in
can.
June.
Because I planned on it. I didn't plan on an accident. There's a lot of things that happen I don't plan on.
But you could have had it done at any time from February until you had your accident.
When I tear the shingles get torn off, I need several days of dry. And it's just been up like that. I mean, my life, I have other responsibilities rather than just, oh, I gotta drop everything because I gotta get this out. Oh, there's a dry day, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do it all at one big tear off, one big,
Exactly.
One big
I'm just saying
deal
I have
at a
other
time.
responsibilities as
from
well.
morning till night. And it's gonna be all day, all night, whatever you gotta do to get it done. And you promised me, you told me that you would have it done by June. You told me.
I don't doubt any of that. I'm not here arguing with you about anything that was said. I'm just simply asking
For another 5 months.
the extension, whatever you will give me, if any.
Well, I could give you any amount of time, and I don't believe that you'll get it done. I don't think that you're going to.
I've got too much money spent on lumber and parts
I don't
not to do it
believe you're
now.
going to do it.
I'm not gonna stuff my money down the tubes. Why would I do that?
I don't think you're going to do it.
Well, I know I will.
I don't think you will.
I know I will. What do you got to lose? You'll tear it down if
Right,
it's
I'll
not.
tear it down anyway.
So why not give me a chance?
I'll give you a chance. I'll give you a chance, but I've gotta be updated. The city's gotta be updated.
It's fine.
The people in this town are sick of being at their park and looking at that house with a hole in the roof. That house is unloved and untaken care of, and it's a shame.
It is a shame. I agree with you. I totally agree.
Keep the yard mowed.
It has been. And all the weeds you didn't, trees or brushes, I cut all
Keep
that
it cleaned
down.
up. No other code violations. Can't happen again this summer.
Okay.
You know, you have to find somebody else to keep it cut. Something else has gotta give. You can't be going into violations. If there's any other violations, this is void.
There haven't been any more.
I'm gonna recommend that you come back in here next month and give me an update
Okay.
on your medical condition.
All right.
717 for 411 Southeast 4th. And I hope you prove me wrong, because I don't want to tear your house down.
Right.
I would want somebody to live in that house.
Well, I do sincerely appreciate it. I do.
Don't appreciate it, fix it.
Okay. All right.
Just fix it.
Okay.
Is the house gonna be for rental or are you gonna sell it?
Sell it, sir.
You're gonna sell it?
Yes, sir.
Technically, you're supposed to have a licensed roofer do that roof then.
I was just getting things ready, you know, everything that I
And then,
can.
of course, any other your trades, if you have any other trades like plumbing, heating and air or electrical, that would have to be licensed and
So-
stuff on there, so.
And that
So if
worked,
you're-
that right.
So Kenny, well, hold on a second. Kenny, if he has to hire a roofer to do this, he has to hire a roofer to do this?
Yes.
Because he's not living in the house, not going to be
It's
living
not,
in
it's
the
not
house.
his homestead, he's not living in it, that's not his castle.
Oh.
So technically, then he has to hire a licensed roofing contractor to do the job, just like anything else. Now, he can hang sheet rock, you know, he can do things like that, change doors, change windows, but any of the trade stuff, roofing, heat and air, plumbing, electrical, those would have to be by licensed contractors then.
Very good.
So,
So, do you see where that's going?
Yes, sir, I do.
So get on the phone tomorrow and get some bids.
Yeah.
Get on the phone tomorrow, get some bids.
All right.
You know, get more than one bid.
All
You know,
right.
find a couple of the different, two, three guys around town, that are licensed. They have to be licensed, bonded, insured, all that.
Okay.
And, you know, maybe some from Claremore or even from Tulsa that will come in and see what they can do. They could do that house in a day,
Yes, I know.
a half a day.
Yeah.
And it won't take, they'll be so fast, it'll make your head spin how fast they get that roof done.
All right.
You know, and all this arguing, all this angst, all this coming back and forth between me and you,
Yes.
all that will just go away and you'll have a new roof on your house.
Okay. I'll do
Okay.
that. Yes, sir.
But if it's gotta be done by a contractor anyway,
I'll make those calls.
yeah, that's the way I'd do it.
All right.
It's gotta be done by a contractor anyway.
All right.
You can't do it, so thank you, Kenny, for chiming in. That helps us a lot. That'll sort it. You won't even need to wait till after they fuse, you know, you get your nerve done, you know, that.
Yeah.
No more carrying those stuff. We're getting too old for this stuff. man.
That's true too.
You know, I'm not a spring chicken either. You know, carrying that up onto a roof is
Yeah,
not where we need to be going.
I already knew I wasn't gonna be doing that part of the shingles.
Well,
Yeah, but.
You know, you can shuffle shingles and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and you can, you know, shuffle them down to somebody, but
Yeah.
packing those up onto a roof is,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
those young guys, that's what they're for.
Mm-hmm.
They're there for
You
that.
got equipment for that too.
Just revisit me next month. We'll see you on the 17th, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right. If there's no one else here,
Thank you, sir.
we're going to exit the public hearing and adjourn the meeting.